Similarly, in terms of softening of demand, I have 2 points to make. One, I think it's time that industry also and businesses also look at consumer choices and consumer demand for more attractive pricing. And I was just looking at the numbers of a company, an automobile company which just went public. The same would probably go for most of the automobile companies of significance. I was seeing an EBITDA of more than 21%. I was seeing a PAT possibly of 9 or 10% on their balance sheet. I was seeing that they have invested $200 million 25 years ago. But in the last 10 years alone, I didn't have the time to research all 25 years data. Maybe Rahul, your team can help me with that, with a complete analysis. But in the last 10 years alone, on an investment of $200 million, they have already remitted dividend and royalties of upward of 12 or 13 billion dollars in 10 years. They are sitting on a market cap of which their own holding is still about $15 billion. And I still don't have data of how much they are supporting their own suppliers, international suppliers, maybe their subsidiaries or other companies. And aggregate returns on their investment, I think anybody in this room, if you calculate, it's phenomenal.
It's been staggering.
Staggering. And they have a huge demand in India. There's a huge competitive edge manufacturing in India gives you. So I think if smart business people start offering better pricing, better value for money, I'm sure the market will give them a boost. It's for them to decide whether they want to sit on high margins. And then, as I read in the paper a couple of days back or maybe yesterday, say that, oh, market is softening, auto market, passenger sales, vehicle sales will be down to 3-4%, or to be more aggressive and try to capture a larger market share at more competitive pricing. I personally am one of those who believes that economies of scale, that the huge demand that 140 crore Indians provide, the demand of 1.4 billion aspirational young India, the demand that our growing economy, our growing income levels offers is unmatched. And the affordability, the competitive edge that this economy of scale gives you will help you not only meet India's need, but also international demand. So choices of businesses, if Rohit Java or all the other big businesses who are sitting here, I don't know who else is there that I can see, Subrakant, I see a lot of friends here. If they become more competitive in their pricing, I'm quite sure they can capture much bigger markets, get much better profits. At least we in government don't work on a quarter tak philosophy that was just now articulated. I think it's time investors also looked at the long term and not panic on every quarter.
So I'm sure they'll be paying close attention. So you're saying basically cut prices. That's what you're telling FMCG companies,
I'm
auto
not
companies.
suggesting anything. I just stated a matter of fact. Choices of the businesses, whatever they want to do.
Should the RBI, since you're saying, obviously everyone knows the inflation was anticipated, that it'll be bad. Should they cut interest rates in December? Or
I certainly believe they should cut interest rates. Growth needs a further impetus. We are the fastest growing economy in the world. We can do even better. And frankly, the largest component of inflation is food inflation. I think the chief economic advisor had also assessed the whole situation. And this is not something I say today. If you look back at the archives, some of the friends here may have heard me talk, even when I was in the opposition, before I came into government. I had been consistently saying, we have a senior RBI governor sitting here, maybe he can throw more light on it. But I think it's an absolutely flawed theory that food inflation should be considered while deciding on the interest rate structure. Food inflation has nothing whatsoever to do with managing inflation. That's a demand-supply situation. That's not something that is being hoarded or stocked in large numbers. I've seen the data of stocking or stockpiling of food products. As Consumer Affairs Minister, we used to monitor that month on month. And I think it's time that the policymakers and regulators seriously sat down, discussed with all stakeholders, discussed with economists even beyond their own, and we came to a considered view whether food inflation should at all be a part of the decision making for inflation or interest rates.
So I'm sure Dr. Ragarajan and indeed the governor will weigh in later. So do you think he should go big like the...
This is my opinion. I don't speak for the government. You asked me my opinion. So I'm not necessarily speaking for the government. I'm quoting from the CA's report and I'm stating on record, this has been my considered view for the last 20 years at least.
So